All right, we are live on YouTube. What's up? How is it going? Let's switch accounts. Give people a few minutes to roll in. All right, so we're doing a Q&A today. We're taking a little bit of a break from boot.dev. I don't think I'm going to do a reaction to an article. We're just chilling. So if you have questions, if you have blockers about becoming a web dev, this is the live stream to ask. I'd like to do these every once in a while, but you know, if you missed this one, you're welcome to ask questions in the boot.dev streams. All right, let's load up my browser so I can see chat. I can't see chat yet. I'm hoping.
Not a while since I've been on here, but a while since I've been on here.
What? Oh, Twitch opened. I'm hoping we have someone in chat. Do we have anyone in chat? We do. What's up, Jessa? How you doing? It's Friday. Happy Friday. How you doing? Let me grab the YouTube chat. All right. All right, pop open YouTube chat. I switched it to have anyone can talk. Like with the boot.dev streams, I like the 10-minute follow rule. Keeps the conversation pretty cool, but these Q&A, like people should be able to hop in and ask questions. All right. Looks good. But yeah, how's your Friday going? Let me post this in Discord. Be quiet down. There we go. Grab the link. Boom. Boom. All right. Post in announcements. Hosting a live Q&A today. Bring your have questions about becoming a web dev. Bring them here. All right. All right. Post and we are good. So I made a community post and I wonder how serious people are going to take it. Maybe I shouldn't have even replied to that comment. But I don't know. I honestly like. Hold up. Oh, okay. I think we've been too serious here. I think I want to. Jesus, because I said okay. So I kind of shit on anime PFPs once in a while because I think some of the people with anime PFPs, I don't know, it's just something odd. So I make a joke about them, and then I got some comments about how my YouTube profile picture is an anime PFP, and I thought that was really funny. And then I posted about it in community comments, and literally the first comment was like concern. Of like, no, your profile pic isn't anime PFP, which I appreciate the wholesomeness, but it's okay to dunk on me a little bit. So we got to start making some jokes. Finding a sinus pressure, dude. Okay. The last stream, like my nose was running. It was weird, and then when the stream ended, like my eye was watering. It was like I think it was like some sinus thing up here. And I never take Benadryl, so I finally took one. But like, my eye kept watering for like 6 hours, and like I couldn't even sleep, so I had to take a Benadryl. But that was crazy. I don't know. Same here. It's kind of annoying. My day's going really well though. It's going really well. How's yours going? Oh, that's so good. Did I change the title? Yeah, I did. Awesome. Okay, cool. Valorant ad? What's up, Tuba? What do you mean Valorant ad? What's up, Jake? How you doing? And if you guys have web dev questions, feel free to ask. Like, otherwise, I'm just chatting with you guys, you know? And that's cool, too. That's mine too. One side, and it's not terribly painful, but yeah, it's just annoying. It's a tiny bit of pressure. I could feel it, but I mean, it's mostly gone now. But that was annoying last night. What's up, Frozen? How you doing, man? Happy Friday to you as well. How's your Friday going? Do we have anyone on YouTube? We got 6 people, dude. YouTube. I think I need to release some more videos. Let me make sure that non-subscribers can chat. But I have not really released legitimate videos in a long time. I keep posting the reactions, and YouTube just isn't pushing a lot of traffic to them. Maybe my audience doesn't like reactions. I don't know. Maybe it's the topic, because it is kind of like obscure topics a bit. Kind of like developer related, but I got to record a bunch of videos. I'm looking forward to February. And I think, Jessa, that was a good idea in terms of... I need to stop multitasking. Hold on. Okay, yeah, anyone can type. I think that's a good idea, Jessa, in terms of kind of like making it temporary. Like, I love the idea of the controversial channel. And sometimes it'll be controversial. Sometimes it'll just be a topic, you know, maybe something like going on. But like having it temporary, even if it's like 3 days, right? 3 days conversation, boom, move on. And then like no one can like pull from that. They can't like continue edging on the argument or egging on the argument. I don't know why I said edging. But like, and then we move on to a different topic, you know? Tech with Saran, how you doing, man? Longtime viewer, curious how your goals setting going. So your video is kind of like that raw take and making raw content. It's pretty good. I said fuck it for goals this year, and it's more about sacrifice. Shawl Gove, welcome, man. So it's more about like giving up alcohol, shit food. I gave up video games for January, doing a bit of a detox, like a dopamine detox. And things are kind of just lining up. I wanted to try something different besides goals and kind of just focus on like just improving a lot of like really shitty habits. And things are lining up way better than they were when I had pretty rigid goals. Yeah. So I didn't mean edging. I meant egging. Egging on. I don't know why I said edging. I don't know where my mind goes sometimes. Advertisement on a Twitch for a game. Oh, as on Twitch make me happy. Gotcha. Sounds like you got a virus. A virus for 1 day? What, your sinuses can't like get inflated? Are you sure? I don't know about a virus. I don't know. Maybe you're right. This is Shawl Gove. I have a question. Scriba is good program for front end, just for front end? Yes. It's recommended to do this program before enroll to a coding bootcamp. It depends what program. I mean, like like if you're considering a coding bootcamp, expect to supplement beforehand to be well prepared for it, but it depends on what you're learning in the coding bootcamp too, right? Scrum is very strong at the front end. Boot.dev is very strong at the back end. But expect a lot of supplementation after that coding bootcamp as well. That's how you make that your coding bootcamp experience pretty effective. I like to stream on YouTube, but YouTube is not really pushing the streams unless the algorithm has a better day. I don't think it is either. How many people do we have on YouTube? Dude, we're a dead channel, are we not? Good music on Twitch, by the way. We're dead. Yeah, we're a dead channel. It's over. I'm not on YouTube. All right, no worries, no worries. YouTube chat is pretty calm. Not coming to front end anytime soon? What do you mean not coming to front end? That's some good green tea. By the way, happy Friday, everyone. How's your Friday going? I like to stream on YouTube, but YouTube is not... Oh, yeah, I read that. But thank you. What's up, Godspeed? How you doing, man? Is there such a thing as winter allergies? I mean, like the cold is going to... Allergies? No, I think it's more about... Maybe. I don't know. I don't think so. I think it's more about like the cold weakening your immune system a little bit. I see your planned streams come up on my home page, usually in the first 6 with notify Me, but oh, really? Okay, so you. Oh, so you're talking about like if I have a scheduled stream a long time ago, but I did it earlier today. I thought. So there was like 4 hours of a prep. I saw this first on YouTube, then I got on Twitch. Oh, okay. So some people did see it on YouTube. Okay. I think a lot of people are just going to Twitch, honestly. Yeah, we're starting to get more Twitch viewers. I think that's what it is. You said you quit front end? Well, I mean, it was a bit dramatic of a video because it was fun to make. I basically said fuck it to the React stuff. That's the main thing. I'm learning Angular. But like, would I go back in the dev world professionally as a front-end developer? It's highly unlikely. I just think the JavaScript ecosystem, especially in the front end, is complete shit. TGIF, I just got over serious sinuses. Oof. Dude, we're all getting sick, man. Okay, so it's not just me. I thought that was so weird. I barely get allergies. I barely get sick. And then like, I felt like I just couldn't see out of my eye. It was tearing up so badly yesterday. It was weird. Would you still recommend going to college for people who want to become software engineers? That is also an option. I don't think any path should be generically recommended to everyone. I think that's garbage advice, right? That's the shit advice you get on Reddit. But you have to understand the pros and cons of each path and decide and kind of line it up. Is that aligned with you? You have to figure out like what your deficits are, what you need out of your path. I think it takes some self-analysis. What's up, Renee? How you doing? How's it going, man? But T, if you have like if you have something you're leaning on and you want to talk about it, we could dive into that for sure. What's up, Dewey? Happy Friday. All right, I got a question for you guys right here. And I want you to be honest. We're tossing up some, you know what? Just type it in chat. Type it in chat. All right, so you guys know, sometimes I shit on anime PFPs, profile pics. I'll use the word weeb once in a while. So I want honest feedback. Honest feedback. Does my YouTube and Twitch profile, well, Twitch no longer, but does my YouTube profile pic look like an anime profile pic? Oh. Blueberry green tea is the greatest. Nope. All right. Thank you, Dewey. Thank you. I find colds hit me with all the symptoms the moment I take a day off. I think, oh no, I'm just not aware of it till I stop coding. Oof, the timing, right? Yes. Angela says yes. There's no way my profile pic looks like an anime pic. It just looks like a generic cartoon. Thank you, Loner Coder. Looks more like a South Park inspired one, if anything. Thank you. Angela's on something. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. Yeah, I say I want your honest opinion, and then I'm going to roast you for it. That's essentially my stream. I'm just kidding, Angela. I hope I didn't chase you away already. All right, let's see. Not at all. Yes and no. It is drawn. It is not. It's I got it on Fiverr. Someone did it on Fiverr like years ago. What's up, Sachi? How you doing? South Park vibes? I actually like that. I vibe with that. Really? South Park vibes? This is it, by the way. Hold up. All right. Right here. There's no way that's an anime pic. No way that's an anime pic. Angela's trolling. 100% trolling. It's like those filters that make drawn people from real pics. Yeah, I think so. Doesn't look like Japanese anime, but it does look like some of the stuff that comes out over here. I don't think I've ever watched Western anime. Is that a thing? what anime was created in the US? Or a little Gen AI? Oh, dude, I hate the AI pictures so much. Don't even. That's worse. Dude, that is so much worse. Are you kidding me? Those AI pictures are so weird. They're so weird. They're just like, and it's like portraits where people, oh my God, I can't stand them. It's like people have these portraits created of them with AI that look almost human, but it's like they try way too hard with the pictures. And it looks so smug. It looks so smug. They're just like looking up like, I'm making the face. Their face is like, but like in my head, I'm like that's what they look like in my head. It's so weird. I hate not the anime, the AI pics. I don't know why people keep creating them for their LinkedIn profiles. I don't know why they're creating them for their avatars or Twitter handles. Like, I don't know. There's just something so weird and smug about them. Maybe it's just me, man. It's a gray area. It's cool. It's Renee the Dev on YouTube. Jumping on Twitch because I enjoy the background music. Nice, man. Dude, the music's good over here. Maybe YouTube is just about like transferring everyone over here. Maybe that's the strategy. No, I like dual streaming. I actually like it. I like doing it on YouTube and Twitch. I used to not like it, but I don't know. We got a big community on YouTube. We got some pretty cool people there. Is there any anime other than Japanese? Exactly, yeah. Avatar and Korra? Avatar is... There's no way Avatar is anime. Right? That's like CGI stuff. That's not anime. I don't think that's anime. Take this how you will, but low-key looks like Randy Marsh. Randy Marsh does it. Hold up. Hold on. You're saying this looks like Randy Marsh. Dude, there's no way. I don't think so. Does that look like Randy Marsh? Gray area. We call it anime because it's an adult cartoon. Well, you just don't understand Japanese culture. Yeah. I don't know what to tell you. Like some people, they just don't get it. They just don't get it. Like you Americans think, I don't even know what you Americans think. You just don't get it. Last Airbender. What's up, Rish? How you doing? The side-to-side makes the image not look like you. Your jawline is more angular. What are you trying to say about my jaw? Are people on the internet exaggerating about the state of the job market? It depends on what you mean by exaggerating. Like, what is your impression of it? Are many people exaggerating? Yes. Are many people telling the truth? Yes. So what is your perception of it? You should just look at a quick pic of Randy Marsh. See it. Oh my God. Dude, you're trolling. Hold up. Okay. All right, fine. I'll humor you, Dewey. That's fine. You're going to look like a fool in a second. Hold up. Hold up. We got to teach him a lesson. All right, so let's bring it up. YouTube, Don the Developer. We're going Don the Developer. Okay, there it is. We got that open, and then we're doing Randy Marsh. Bro, you're not. There's no way you're serious about this, bro. Almost there. Think we're good. There is no way I look like Randy. Like, okay. Here's the problem. All right? The hair, it's a bit darker in, like, the drawing, right? Like, my hair actually... Okay. The eyebrows are different. The eyebrows are lighter. He doesn't have a beard. My eyes are smaller. I kind of see it, but fuck. I don't know. Fuck you. I don't know. What do you guys think? Dude, they are not identical twins. Fuck off. They are not identical twins. Okay, here's a test we do, right? What happens if I put Randy Marsh as my profile pic? Do you think people will notice a difference? What do you guys think? Randy Marsh or no? Yes or no? Nope. Thank you, Tuba. I agree with you. I fully agree. I think, Tuba, you are one of the wisest people we have in this community, and I appreciate you. Thank you. Right. I have a beard. Randy Marsh looks like a manlet. I agree. Right? So... You can generate your own South Park character on their website? Really? Maybe I should put Randy Marsh as my profile pic. I think that would be funny, wouldn't it? Oh, believe it or not, we are answering Webdev questions here. Let me get to a few of them. Let's see. Oh, you never responded, T. Just a little question. What do you think about the gap between junior and an intermediate level developer? Like, what sets them apart? A lot of times it's like ownership. Them taking ownership over parts of the app, more independence, the way they tackle problems. It's not like diving into the code right away. It's more about kind of like planning it out before you actually start coding. So thinking through the implementation, make sure you fully understand the problem, right? It's more about like how you solve the problem and your independence in doing so and your communication around the work that you're doing. That starts kind of evolving you into a mid-level. You think so, Jake? We should do... I think I should. But wait, is South Park, are they like... Is my channel going to get copyrighted for doing that? You think we're good on that or no? Like, are they pretty heavy with that? I used Apple Playground and it made me look like Luigi with Mexican features. I'm born to Mexican parents. Don't know where the Italian came from. You have a nice jawline than the image does? Thank you, Tuba. Thank you. Just learning to use ASP for web dev the hard way. What about you? Not doing jack shit in terms of dev today. You are more productive than I am, Vrish. Good for you, man. The profile pic, it should not... Like, if I do it on YouTube, we should do it. Let's do it for a week. Dude, if that's our first copyright strike, I'm going to be so mad. Yeah, maybe we do it for a week. I'll put Randy Marsh up. I actually like that. Hold on. I actually like that idea. Randy. By the way, if you guys have questions, blockers about becoming a web dev, you are welcome to ask in chat. Randy Marsh. PFP. I'll do it on Twitter too. Oh, no, can I? No, because I got that check mark thing. I should. Use mine from South Park on Discord? Nice. Maybe I should stick to engineering instead of art analysis. That it's impossible to find a job at the moment, and it will only get worse with AI. No, it's not impossible, and no. All that's garbage. Yeah. Whatever community is telling you that, get the fuck out right now, because that is going to prevent you from getting a job. Yeah, it's a trash community. Like, get out of that community. That's completely wrong. Thank you for answering, Don. I think I'm on the good way to being an intermediate level developer. Are you talking about like mid-level in your career? Or are you talking about like you haven't gotten a job yet? Because you like trying to compare like sometimes people will be like beginner programmer, intermediate. I'm talking more about like how companies are going to see you in terms of like junior and mid-level. So when you say intermediate level developer, what does that mean? I think you should do some research before doing it. Don't get in trouble. Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I think that's a fair piece of advice. I would use the Integrity Farm, Randy Marsh. I did get a job recently. Yo, let's go. Yeah, but we know Mobac. But you are welcome to shout that out. Oh, wait, you're shouting it out. Yeah, duh. You're literally responding to T. Yeah. Yeah, people are getting jobs. I'm not saying they're plentiful. But I am saying a lot of people are really bad and they're not really hireable. They need to go a lot further because they were lied to that it would take 6 months to a year to get a job for most people. That's not necessarily on you. A lot of it's on content creators bullshitting you, but it's not easy by any means. Oh, this tea is so good. Except my productivity is killing me. You'll probably live longer. Maybe. Yeah, I think there's something to that, not taking life too seriously to live longer. I like that. You kind of remind me of Kenny when they're adults on that COVID episode. Do I? You know what? I didn't see the COVID series. I gotta watch that. I heard it was pretty funny. I remember seeing, what was it? Like they were going into Walgreens, or was it Walgreens or some pharmacy shop? And like they treated it like a club, and there were like certain people that were allowed to like go through like the side doors, like they were celebrities, and get their shots and head out while everyone was like just lined up panicking. I saw that part, but I didn't see like the whole series. I thought that was a really good clip. You could have someone draw a Fiverr, or have someone on Fiverr draw you in a South Park style. Curious how much like Randy would look. Yeah, maybe it's just like, honestly, who mentioned the app that would create like a South Park avatar? Maybe it just like creates Randy for me. Wasn't there an emo South Park episode? Best one of those would be more accurate. I don't think I saw that one. I don't think it's going to get worse with the AI. I see it as more of a tool. It's not going to get worse with the AI. And define worse. But like AI has very, 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 very little influence over the job market now, and at least probably a couple years into the future, where it'll slightly increase, and it'll kind of it'll raise the bar a little bit. Actually, you know what? Let's do it. Fuck it. Everyone wants to bring up AI. All right, let's do it. We're going into our topic. All right, so Mark Zuckerberg says you're going to get replaced. All mid-level and below are getting replaced. He didn't word it like that because he knows he'd get even more heat for it. But he says that in the near future, I think, that AI is essentially going to be able to replace mid-level and juniors. What do you guys think about that? Let's hear it. I noticed after a month and a half that I am more on par with mid-level devs, even though I was hired as a junior and struggling to get any interviews. Cool. One of my mentors, who's kind of heavy-handed, told me there's no such thing as a bad market, only bad engineers. And it doesn't mean the market isn't a little bit more tough. Well, yeah, I don't know if I fully agree with that. But I kind of agree with it. I do like that because I think it's also about the mindset that you develop. A lot of people that keep hyper-focusing on how they feel the market is really tough for them are not putting their energy into the right things. They're not. You're going to burn yourself out with that. You're going to create a bunch of anxiety and doubt, and it's not going to make you a better engineer, which is the solution. That is the solution, to become a better software engineer. But I think the problem I have with this like blank statement of AI is going to take all jobs and the market's it's useless, like to try to become a developer and the market's super rough. It's that it just develops a victim mindset, like you don't have any control of the situation. And the reality is, and I keep reminding you, and I'm honest, I'll never call out individuals that I've mentored, but out of everyone I mentored, out of all the resume reviews I've done, out of all the portfolio projects that I've done, out of all the people that I've mentored at my meetup, etc., there are a lot of really, really bad developers that do not realize how much time a lot of developers in the industry have spent getting good at their craft before they even landed their first position. That's the problem. And people won't focus on that because all they hear is, oh, bad market, it's hopeless. And instead of holding themselves accountable for their, things they need to improve, it's just a self-limiting belief. I just try to categorize my skills in terms of programming and problem-solving abilities. What's up, Jan? I don't think it's going to get worse with... about the Zuckerberg thing, I agree with Primogen. What he's doing, firing 5% of his staff to replace them with AI-generated code, just creates a toxic environment, and the company shit just gets worse. I don't... Is that what Primogen said? Because I don't think Mark Zuckerberg is firing 5% of his staff to replace them with AI-generated code. I think he linked two things together that don't go together. Are you 100% sure that's what Primogen said? Because yes, Mark Zuckerberg is introducing more AI-generated code. Well, I mean, the developers are, essentially. And he's also firing 5% of his staff. But are you 100% sure Primogen said that he is firing his staff to replace them with AI-generated code? Because those two things are very separate, and they don't necessarily go together. Can you clarify that, Sachi? Yes and no, I work as a junior content writer, and AI does the bare minimum. We take that and spruce it up. It's probably the same with the code. It will be a tool for a very long time. Yeah. That's pretty cool. How you liking the content writer gig? I can see AI being more productive at larger companies because there are defined processes, tons of previous data for AI to learn from, and more fail-safe checkpoints to prevent failures. The fail-safe is going to be really good. But for 90% of the companies, it won't be nearly as useful. Oh, Facebook dropping the bottom 5% every year is normal. And that's a thing. Like, this has been a thing for a while. This bottom 5% thing, whether you realize it or not, I think it kind of got a bit of attention, probably because Mark Zuckerberg made the point about the mid-level, AI and mid-level. AI can't deal with very complex architecture, which is normal at medium to big companies. So, Sachi, I'm still waiting for your response. Are you kind of like gathering that up? Because I want to make sure that we, like, if we're going to talk about something Primogen said, I want to fully understand that this is like a thing that he said, because I do have opinions about that. But are you saying, again, that Primogen is talking about how it's toxic, how Mark Zuckerberg is firing 5% of his staff to replace them with AI-generated code? Because I want to be careful we're not just saying things. Can you type in chat? Let me know, because I have not heard you in chat yet. Because I have friends who worked at Facebook back in early 2010s, and they drop people for performance reasons all the time. Okay. It feels like a normal thing with Facebook. Content writing, marketing is great. I'd love to transition to web development and potentially marry the two skills in a job or business. Yo, that's a dream, man. Hell yeah. That's a dream. And that's the cool thing about development. It's not just being a code monkey. It's like, what do you want to turn that into and mix it with? What about like your old background? How can you blend that? I think that's like a really exciting thing about coding. Is Sachi still here? He's still here. I hope they don't get rid of junior devs. What about perspective? It's just the bar's going to rise. They're never going to get rid of junior devs. The bar's just going to rise. Juniors provide a fresh set of eyes, even if they don't have the years of experience under the belt. You're not only trashing opportunity for young engineers, but you're squandering any advantage that may come. They're not going to get rid of them. They're not going to get rid of them. The bar's just going to rise. I'm 99% sure that's what Zuck said about Primogen's opinion is. So, Sachi, can you link the source for that? Because, okay, so two things I need. You're 99% sure, because that's a very different statement. If we're going to talk about this, let's get the facts right. Can you link the source where Zuckerberg said that he is getting rid of the bottom 5% to replace it with AI-generated code? Because are we talking about 5% of developers? Are we talking about 5% of the entire company? Like, if it's of developers, then we can talk about like the AI-generated code that potentially he said that he's going to replace them with. So I want to, like, I'm kind of calling you out here. Okay, yeah, search for it. Oh, you were eating? Okay, search for it. Because I really want to make sure we have our facts straight with that. So it's like, yeah, like we don't want to just give these like generic platitudes that aren't based in facts. Dude, the music's good on Twitch. The whole replace junior mid-level devs causes a huge problem. What happens when all the senior devs... nothing's getting replaced. This is what I mean. It's like this misconception over and over. No junior devs and mid-level devs are not getting replaced. The bar will rise. They are not getting replaced. This is the kind of misconception that like literally just frightens developers, and you get this shit on Reddit and Twitter and stuff like that. It's just useless, garbage information. Now, like, it's okay if we talk about it, but I'm just saying, like, there are people that'll literally just spread, oh, man, all these companies are just getting rid of junior and mid-level devs. It's like, we're fucked. And then they go into a conversation about how companies are just screwing themselves. It's like, wait, let's take a step back. Are they really getting rid of these positions? I do not see that at all. The bar has been rising for a long time. It's not new. Everything just keeps getting more complex, and the requirements for devs has to be raised to keep up. Very true. And there's, when a lot of people rush into the industry trying to become a developer, the competition is more fierce. Again, I've said this, though. A lot of people are dropping out. They're giving up. For the people that are serious about this and are not going to quit and are going to continue pushing forward, these opportunities are going to come up for you. But a lot of people are just giving up. Let them give up. I knew it was going to happen. Knew a lot of people went into this with misconceptions. Let them filter themselves out. If anything, the bar got dipped during COVID. Companies are just readjusting the bar now. There are literally bar raiser training programs for interviewers at these companies. I think the bar is a little bit higher than 2019. I do. But it did dip, and then it made it seem like it became significantly harder. Yes, you are right. The bar did go very low during COVID, like really low. Where like with my previous experience, like I could have stood like a really good chance with just a little bit of studying getting into a company like Meta. Meta's requirements aren't like as strict. Like the interview isn't as high pressure as like something like Google though. But still, like there are a lot of people with a few years of experience that had good chances to get into FANG companies, given that they, went down the right path to study. Yahoo Finance has an article about Zuckerberg and AI taking over. Yeah, but that's not what we were talking about, So the specific thing we were talking about was a statement that Sachi made about Zuckerberg firing 5% of his staff to replace them with AI-generated code. In his Joe Rogan interview, Zuckerberg mentions AI writing mid-level code. Yep, probably in 2025. Okay, so that was the date. Yes. I do think you're right, though he expects it to be expensive at the beginning. Yeah, I went through all the FANG ones. The hardest one was Netflix, then Amazon. Amazon seems like a shitty place to work. I just never hear good things about like any type of position at Amazon. Is that true? Facebook and Google are fairly similar. Google has I've heard different. I've literally heard the opposite, Dewey. When did you do it? So the formation people, like they're all like Facebook people. They're all Meta people. And they kind of retired and are helping developers that are trying to like up their careers. They often say like Meta's isn't like as hardcore, especially in terms of the complexity of the challenges that you're going to be given. Right before COVID? I don't think. Yeah, okay. That might be your opinion. I've heard very different opinions from the formation crew. Very different. I don't know who's right. I haven't gone through it myself. All right, so... Okay, Sachi, I have a feeling we are... Here, let's do this. So before I read this, you're saying... Okay, I'll read this, Sachi, but like, if I'm going to take time to do this, I want to be very clear because I'm getting the feeling that you're being disingenuous. You made this statement. Like, if I read this and I'm wrong, I will apologize, but I feel like you're being disingenuous at this point. Your statement is what he's doing, firing 5% of his staff to replace them with AI-generated code. So you're saying what he's doing is firing those 5% to replace them with AI. That is your statement. You posted. I asked you to provide proof. You posted an article about it, right? Are you saying in this article that's what that says? I'm going to give you one more chance because I don't want to dig into this if you're being disingenuous. And my gut feeling tells me you're being a bit disingenuous. So before I dive into, I will literally dive into it on stream, but I need you to confirm that. He's got a big ol' response coming. Yep. Got to give you props, Dom, for keeping it real during the conversations. Love it. I appreciate that. We always keep it real here. I never heard that connection being made. I didn't either, Twilight. So again, dude, like, prove me wrong 100%. But this is a moment, Sachi, where either you need to call yourself out or, like, you're having a very disingenuous conversation with us. I'll give you one more minute. Then we're going to dive into the article, and I'm going to trust you. I wasn't saying they were getting replaced. I was putting a light on the fact that it's not realistically sustainable. You are implying the whole replace junior and mid-level devs causes a huge problem. What happens when all the senior devs retire and there's no one to replace them? You are implying that, Tuba. You 100% are implying that. With this statement. What do you think this implies? What you're implying is that they are, like, these positions aren't open and then we only have seniors and no one is there to replace them. That is what you're applying, Tuba. Or implying. Guys, I don't mind if you misword something, but I'm going to call you out if you're not owning up to what you're saying. You know me. They're huge companies, so I'm sure we could have different experiences. Yeah, maybe. Maybe. Yeah. They were involved in the hiring process for Meta. So that could affect their experience as well. But Amazon pays more money if you stay there for 4 years. It's not a common for senior one. Okay. Yeah. I don't know. I don't think I would enjoy my time at Amazon. Well, the article itself says I'm connecting what he said on Joe Rogan's show and Prime made an opinion. So you said Prime made an opinion. Did Prime say that he is replacing? Like, I didn't misunderstand. No, Sachi. No, you're not gonna gaslight like that. No, we're gonna. So I'll give you a chance because you've been here for a little bit. I didn't misunderstood what you said. Like, I'll bring it up again. I'll bring it up. Dude, I'm calling this shit out. I am not letting this stuff go. Hell no. No. All right, let's go. I agree with Primogen. What he's firing 5% of his staff to replace them with AI-generated code. Guys, you have to own up to what you're saying. Come on. You guys are regulars in here. Hell no. You need to own up to what you're saying. Stop with the gaslighting. Own your shit. If you got to reword it because you misspoke, fine. But own your shit. The fact that replacing junior devs with AI would cause a problem would make it unsustainable for the company future and therefore unlikely to happen. That unlikely to happen would have changed everything that you said, yes. But your implication with that message, yes, you could have been put in a better way. Sachi, I think like there's something like really gaslighty about you, and I just don't respect that. We're going to do a 7-day timeout. If you screw up, like Tuba just said that, I might have put it a better way, right? She didn't say, like, I'm sorry, you're misunderstanding. Like, I pulled it up on stream. We all saw it. We know what it implies. But I'm calling you out on the gaslighting. 100%, Sachi. 100%. What's up, Loner Coder? Who cares if, like, you misspoke a little bit or you want to own it and you're like, you know what? This is what Primogen said. Because if that's what Primogen said and he made that link, I think Primogen's wrong. I have not seen that link anywhere. I think he's flat out wrong. If that's the case, then we could talk about that. But I think we have to own what we say and just, like, either say, you know what? I misword that. We're doing something else or not. No, that's fine too, but like you owned up to it. That's cool. That's cool. Sachi did not. Feels Amazon, man. I think meta is more formalized and less variant. Difficulty is about the same for my prep and interviews. Really? Okay. This is for product engineering and SRE. Okay, good to know, Godspeed. That's good to know. Yeah, it's a big company too. Very different experiences. They were on the interview side, which could be different. Yeah, it's good to know. I don't see replacing with AI. Yeah, it says specifically, but we're going to do more extensive performance cuts. Yeah, it was just like it was a misrepresentation and someone doubling down. Dude, like, I'm going to tell you, like, seeing the whole pirate software and seeing him act that way, I am so turned off from people gaslighting at this point and, like, just, like, being disingenuous and misrepresenting things. Like, dude, we are 100% calling that shit out in our community. And if I do that, you call my ass out. There is no way we're letting this community turn into that much of a shit show. There is no way in hell. No way in hell. Or wait, I don't know if I said Primogen. I mean pirate software. I don't know who I said, but I mean pirate software by that. Yeah, every year you get stock refreshers so it can compound really fast. How are these Coursera courses from Meta and Amazon any good? I don't know. I haven't checked them out, to be honest. They're trying to play Don, who has previously studied. I don't even feel like I need a psychology background. I think like some people can just detect gaslighting. You know what I mean? Can we give you a timeout if you gaslight us? If I'm not memeing or joking, yes. I will shut up for 1 minute. Yes. I gaslight the hell out of you guys for fun, but if I'm serious about it and I fuck up, you call my ass out, you guys give me a timeout. Yes, 100% agree. What are we talking about? No, I don't even know. I never know. Brandon, what's up, man? How you doing? What the hell are we talking about? We're talking about someone who made a disingenuous representation that Meta was firing 5% of their employees to replace them with AI-generated code. So I do believe the 5% of the employees wasn't all software engineers, right? And then to say all of them are getting replaced by AI-generated code felt like there were just connections being made there that just weren't there. And so that person doubled down and gaslit in terms of like me misunderstanding it. So I pulled it up on stream. Everyone saw it. We called him out. We timed him out. And now we're here. But anyone can say it was just a joke. I feel like if I don't know. I'm not a okay. How do we fix that? They could say it's just a joke. I don't know. Like if I fuck up, I'm just gonna say I fucked up. We're not gonna blink out of the situation. We'll own up to it. I hate that phrase. What phrase? Oh, it's just a joke. Why are you so sensitive? Oh yeah. Like I feel like most people can kind of like pick up gaslighting, and I just usually don't humor them. We're not humoring gaslighting at all. Just a prank, bro. Yeah, exactly. Is to discuss it and move on. Or the only way to fix that is to discuss it and move on. I don't know. I have fun calling it out. Don't take that away from me. What do you mean? Or wait, what do you mean? Like, only way to move on from what? Yeah, difficulty is basically the same between Google and Facebook. Mine was product engineering for Facebook. For Google was general interview. Okay. I'll keep my mind open with that. Thank you for sharing that. I honestly feel like companies are gaslighting a bit. They are deliberately putting out this sense that AI is or will be the very near future taking developer jobs, not AI reasons seeming larger. There are some, I don't think it's companies doing that. I think it's individuals within companies doing that. Again, for a few reasons. One, they don't like software engineers. They don't want to pay software engineers, or they're just bad software engineers. And they're like people that went into product or QA and who just never made it as software engineers who wanted to, right? I feel like the intention is kind of crappy with it, or just like people that are just, they've learned enough to code and kind of just want to put, like the indie hacker community is probably a big one where they don't give a shit about like software engineering ethics or stuff like that. They just want to push out shitty ass projects, and all they care about is money, not even the customers. Like you have individuals that have that personality like that. I don't know if like we can accurately say it's companies gaslighting with AI. I think it's individuals gaslighting. I'm learning Spring Boot soon, so I can have more job security and options. Any advice before I start? I learned Django but my country has a very bad Django market. I don't know much about the Spring Boot stuff. But in general, like you have to look up the market and see what's popular. I'm sure you've already done your research, but like what kind of advice are you looking for? Like what kind of specific advice? As long as people can be honest about their mistakes instead of trying to defend it, it shows they're willing to learn and be open-minded. Yup. 100%. If it's just a joke, it should be funny that, yup. See, you guys are very intelligent. That's why I like you guys. If you can't tell if someone is joking or actually gaslighting, you discuss and move on. Only way to get past that. Gotcha. Fair enough. But I can tell. My eyes are on the gaslighters. I can tell. VS and other investors need some touch of AI to throw fat millions on another ChatGPT wrapper. That is to replace devs. To throw fat millions on another ChatGPT wrapper, that is to replace devs. What are you getting at there? I don't think I'm understanding. What's up, Anonymous? How you doing? Ownership is one of my personal values. Hell yeah. I haven't had time to catch too much recently, but I saw you've given up on front end in favor of back, and I'm curious what spurred the change. React. I'm tired of like the front end community promoting Next.js as people dive into it with shitty JavaScript fundamentals. I'm tired of React being pushed everywhere in every fucking app, and having like an SPA for every single damn app. Like React is just overused, and I think what triggers me is like, again, it's just a generic templated push of just use React for everything that just gets so insufferable in the front end world, where like a lot of front end developers refuse to even detach from React. And and I think what kind of irritates me too is like they're pushing the younger generation, a lot of newer developers, to just pick up Next, because you can become a full stack developer with Next. You want to become a full stack developer. You want to be hireable, right? You need to learn Next. You need to become a full stack developer, not get really fucking good with JavaScript and CSS. But no. Companies want to hire full stack developers. And this weird abstraction that doesn't really teach you the separation of concerns that's needed for good developers as you persist in your career, like what full stack even means and how that's separated and how that data flows, that is obscured by this weird, what is it? This weird form of full stack that is just like abstraction after abstraction after abstraction that keeps developers from actually digging deeper and becoming really fucking good developers. Teaches conventions that are very different than what you're probably going to experience when you land a job, because when you're actually applying for jobs, you're going to realize that people aren't like there are very few Next.js positions. And a lot of the positions that are, like a lot of the full stack positions that are hiring people that are experienced. It's like, I think the Next community just ruined React for me and ruined the front end for me. I don't like the culture around front end anymore. It's very, it's very cult-like and sensitive. And maybe it's just like, maybe front end developers are too sensitive. I don't know what it is. I have to take some time to like really think about it, but I don't really like the culture in front end anymore. I don't like what it's turned into, and I don't like the over dependence on 50,000 abstractions and this is what it's like to be a developer. There's just something that feels so weird about piecing all of these libraries together, calling yourself a software engineer, and then getting sensitive when backend developers call you out for that. It's just the culture around front end that I just don't like anymore. And I think it's a React problem. I think it's a Next problem. Time become based. I mean, this is one of the reasons we have this conversation about devs being replaced by AI. Devin, for example, needs some touch of AI to throw fat millions at another. I still don't know what you're saying. Are you saying that BC and other investors need to know more about the limitations of AI? Or I guess I still don't see what you're saying with that. Working on a React project at the moment. If you are trying to become a front-end developer, learn React eventually. Yes. Again, that is not what I'm saying at all. Yes, you will be learning React. You will be getting very comfortable with it. But the problem is that a lot of people that are learning React are just bad developers, and they stay bad developers because they continue diving into abstractions way too early. Find the C-type language communities tend to feel mature, often much older and less sensitive about things, like they've been working with the language long enough to be able to admit its shortcomings. Yeah. I feel like the more I transition into backend, the more people care about being a good software engineer. And maybe I'm like kind of judging based off of boot.dev's community a bit, but even more like senior backend engineers and a lot of their takes, I just find that I'm agreeing with them a lot more. Though accessibility and design is actually really interesting for me, but damn, it's so complicated. And here I am defaulting to JS because I don't feel like I'm learning anything when using React. Yeah, there's a lot you have to learn on front end, but like that's cool. That accessibility and design is interesting. You should dig into that more, for sure. In Norway, Vue and Svelte are becoming increasingly more popular. Okay. It's the don't reinvent the wheel for a small functionality. Yeah. I think a lot of people understand where I'm coming from with React, but I think there are front-end developers that like give me just a blank stare when I say, well, what if we tried something besides Next? What if we tried something besides React? I think with your current trajectory, you are going to become a very valuable dev, Don. You might end up in a place where you can enjoy your job. I hope so. I appreciate that. If I do go back into the dev world, I hope so. I do feel like I capped my learning, though, when I was just able to build all the apps that I wanted to build. My goals were very different over 5 years ago, for sure. I think probably in the last year, I've wanted to actually start becoming a better software engineer, to be honest. Ben, self-taught, no degree, 5 months, 20 years old, made a lot of progress. Job market is pretty cooked, though. Are self-taught software engineers cooked moving forward? No one is cooked. It's just a doomer mindset. No one is cooked. I mean, like, there are opportunities, Duro, and here's what I would do. Like, you're like a baby in terms of, like, growth, right? You're at the baby stages, like really early stages. 5 months is nothing. It's nothing. Those are baby years, right? You're going to have to spend a lot more time. But my advice to you is if you are under the perspective that the job market is cooked, you probably need to hold yourself accountable and realize I have a very broken mindset, a very helpless. I'm a helpless little child mindset that I have no action that I can take. I have no control over my outcome. And, you know, if some people are just saying that the job market is hopeless, then I am going to completely give up on my trajectory and the actions that I can take to actually find the opportunities that all of these other people fail to find. A lot of times when you surround yourself with really good developers, with hardworking people, with very resourceful people, people that are not victims, people that hold themselves accountable, you're going to start seeing way more opportunities when that mindset spreads to you. But what that is telling me is you are kind of trapped in an echo chamber and you need to get the fuck out of that echo chamber. You are fucking yourself over royally. That's what that tells me. Boot.dev do have an amazing community. It is pretty chill. I like it. I'm just saying that, at least in my opinion, investors need to hear that company is adopting AI or developing another AI that is in reality just another chit. Oh, so you're saying, okay, I think I see what you're saying now, Jake. You're saying that companies kind of need to push like, hey, we're doing AI features for them to attract investors to invest in their money. I see what you're saying now. Okay, gotcha. I think there is some truth to that. I would agree, Jake. I do think there is some truth to that. I do think you're right about that. All right, guys. We are going to run some ads, just a few. We're going to keep going. We'll chill for a little bit longer. I'll probably keep this live stream up on YouTube and Twitch. But we're going to go quick bathroom break. We're going to chill a little bit. We'll talk community stuff as well. But again, if you have any web dev career questions, feel free to ask in chat. If it's not clear by now, I'm just going to speak my mind. I don't want people to fuck themselves over. That's the thing I hate the most. And like, sometimes you have to get out of this like echo chamber, this victim mentality that you've just like entrenched yourself in and you are stuck there. We're going to pull your ass out. We're going to pull your ass out and we're going to tell you never to make that same mistake again. That is the kind of advice we give here. All right, but yeah, we're going to go on a break for a couple minutes. I'll be right back and let's continue in a couple minutes. Let's do it. Yo, we are back. What's up? All right. If you guys have web dev questions, career questions, stuff like that, feel free to ask in chat. We're going to go for a little bit longer. But we have to be honest, not everyone can make it. When the going gets tough, the most intelligent and hardworking people will succeed. No, I don't agree with that. You have to be better than the least hireable person. I agree with that, obviously. I don't think software engineers get through with intelligence in terms of like something that's kind of innate or like you're born with. So it depends on what you mean by intelligent. You need to be knowledgeable. And you need to invest time to become knowledgeable. And yes, you need to be hardworking. But I think like when you're saying intelligent, what do you really mean by that? So I think 99% of people can make it as a software engineer, but do they have the right mindset to make it? Are they ready to invest the time and develop the grit and develop the good habits to do that? So what do you think of Lovable Chat? I have no idea what that is. What is that? I appreciate that to give more context. I was debating whether I should go back to college or not to increase my chance of being employable over continuing a self-taught journey. It depends. You got to dig into your situation if the self-taught journey is for you or if you should go back to college and for what degree, depending on what you're trying to achieve. Self-taught journey is extremely hard. It really helps to be resourceful, manage your time well, be able to proper self-assessment. Like self-taught journey is about having the mindset to like create an extremely better version of yourself to be successful with that. I was learning web dev to go to freelance and realized that a tool like that would make me a lot more money, but learning the fundamentals and earning a certificate degree is still an essential. Got a freelance and realized that a tool like that would make me a lot of money, but learning the fundamentals. Okay. Yeah, it depends on like what your end goal is. Not really sure where you're going with that, Rogue. Intelligent means able to learn quicker. Your ability to learn quicker is trained. It really shows when a person learns quicker than their peers. So are you saying that's innate or not? It's fine if it's your opinion, but if you're saying that like it's like native, right? Like, or it's inherent. We're not talking about oh geez. We're not talking like if you're not talking about a learned behavior, then I might disagree. I don't think people like inherently learn like not to a great effect. People aren't better learners. You become a good learner. You should probably learn OS, operating system. What do you mean by OS? I heard recently on the Free Code Camp podcast, James Quick giving advice on getting a job in this market. Will they acknowledge it may be a tougher market? It's not impossible. Networking can play. Yeah, networking is king. Networking has always been king, and it's exceptionally king now. This is very true. I've heard that interviews want to see junior devs' technical skill and senior devs are tested for their soft skills. Well, I mean, you're going to be tested on both, but yeah, I think the bigger concern, and it's not even necessarily soft skills. They're going to go through like your ability to solve problems, and really a lot of it's like, it's additional stuff like what have you actually achieved in certain companies, and how has that changed the impact of companies? What have you taken ownership of? And like, how has that played out? Let's talk about like the mentorship opportunities, because a lot of senior devs are expected to mentor junior devs. Like, what is your attitude around that? And what is your experience around that? Like, I think different companies are going to look for different things, but I do think the bigger risk is probably the technical with junior devs. There is a high likelihood when that a junior dev is just bullshitting their experience versus a senior dev where you could probably like reach out and go through contacts at different companies and verify that. It's harder to verify stuff with junior devs. You're taking in my opinion, like you're taking, I don't know if it's like more of a monetary chance that you're taking on them, but there's a lot of bullshit you have to filter out with junior devs. Yeah. Virtualization and concurrency fundamentals in OS are vital for backend devs. So OS, I guess I'll simplify the question. Does OS in your sentence mean operating system? Because I think like saying you should probably learn OS, I don't think that's as helpful as you think it is. Let's unpack that a bit. Yeah, it does. Okay. So virtualization and concurrency fundamentals. Okay. Gotcha. When you say like you should probably learn OS, yeah, that's like a really generic statement. There's probably quite a bit more to even learn, but can you give me an example of virtualization? Because when people use this terminology, and I'm kind of just trying to expand what you're saying, because I think what you're saying can be helpful, but I think like these generic terms, you should learn these concepts. In what context? How are they going to be applied? As far as I know, it's partially inherited and partly due to environment. It's mostly a learned skill. Becoming a good student is like mostly, almost all a learned skill. That is, okay, so I think you and I fundamentally disagree on that, where I don't think people just have like a certain amount of intelligence to be successful with a software engineer in terms of them just like, they're an intelligent human being. That like, it's like, I don't know, an IQ thing or something that is unchangeable or that they were born with. I think that's entirely wrong. I've worked with a lot of people who might come off as just stupid, the way they think through things, the way they think through problems, like they're not connecting the dots. And I've seen those people transform into really good students, into resourceful people, into good problem solvers. I've just seen this transformation way too often to agree with that at all. I think we fundamentally disagree on that. I think you have a huge opportunity, given the interest and the time investment in this, to actually succeed in this. And I think a big reason why people don't is because, again, they're going in for the wrong reasons. And often it's just money, but they don't really enjoy the coding. So they're not going to spend enough time with it over years. What's the best way to find a part-time gigs? 10 to 20 hours a week? DoorDash. Find a part-time gig. What do you mean? Dude, like I can drive down the street and find a ton of open part-time jobs. I know our American school systems don't teach learning skills. They teach rote memorization and passive listening to lectures. So a lot of people in the US, anyway, are actually not good at learning in general. Also, passion and interest play a part in how well you learn something. And I do think, yes, I agree. And this is something that you got to realize that sometimes, especially if you're going the alternative path and you branch out of traditional education, a lot of people really struggle with creating like a good learning path for them in the self-taught path. They truly struggle with it because they haven't been taught to be resourceful. They've been taught to memorize things, have arbitrary assessment to judge like how well they're doing, and then they forget it. They don't apply it continually. Yes. I think part-time dev gigs are extremely rare. Good luck. That's my advice to you. If you are coming into a live stream asking, I'll be honest for a second. If you are coming into a live stream asking a streamer, how do I find, or what is the best way to find part-time developer gigs? You are probably going to struggle significantly with that because it's just a broken mindset. Like if you're trying to find part-time gigs and potential contract deals or get into freelancing, that requires a lot of resourcefulness on your end. Like you should have that answer down with a ton of research. It's kind of like the question of like, what is the fastest way to become a developer? You're probably not going to become a developer if you're asking that question. What is the best way to get part-time developer gigs? You're probably not going to find part-time developer gigs. I think that's a mindset thing that's holding you back more than anything. So how would you evaluate a junior dev to know if they are proficient enough? It depends on, like, is using a tool enough? They can explain what they did. It depends on the dev job. I don't think there's like a templated way to assess without knowing what you're hiring for. But I am not basing my view on my opinion. I'm basing it on studies, science, consensus. Can you provide those resources? Because I'm speaking for software engineering, but Moback, you're basing it on science. So we just had someone else that came in that provided a resource to back up what they were claiming. So if you are going to say I'm basing it on studies and science consensus, what I need you to do, Moback, I need you to DM me the exact research that you're talking about, and we will dig into it. Dude, this is 2025. I am calling everyone's ass out for this shit. I am not letting anything go. So Moback, DM me that. DM me this science consensus, and we will dig into it. This is a requirement. This is not optional. Not optional at all. Like companies are saying they want people that can do the work. So if someone can do the work but don't necessarily have the CS concepts memorized, or they don't know the proper term for things. I think it depends. I think like having a solid foundation with programming, like it depends on the job, right? Like what fundamentals are we even talking about? What fundamentals are going to be useful, right? The fundamentals even just generically for backend are going to be different than front end. What position are we talking about? I think if you're asking a generic question and I had to give you a generic answer, then my generic answer is to get a really solid foundation and be careful about how quickly you dive into the abstractions. I think companies are going to care about that foundation more than the abstractions. They're going to care about both. But a lot of people are coming in to the industry with a really shaky foundation. My hubby got great high school grades, but kind of cheated and had easy classes. LOL, I had like a C average, but I was in chem, physics, anatomy, calculus, and AP literature classes, and actually loved all my classes. I hated classes in high school. I did. I totally hated that. Wait, what? I think I just read it and I didn't really interpret it. My hubby got great in grades, had easy classes. I had a C average, but I was in chem. Okay, you just saying you loved school, essentially? Sure, I'll do that. I have a daughter that is deemed on the slow end, and I am working to help her grow and succeed. Gotcha. But, okay, you've been here for a while, Moback, but that is a claim. So what you're claiming, I think, is fundamentally damaging to a lot of people. And I think it's going to create a very damaging mindset. So Moback, if you are going to make that claim now, this stream, I need you to provide it. Like, your claim, I think, is so damaging to people. You need to provide that claim. Go ahead and link it in Discord. Look that up. Do it now. We're going to be on for a little bit longer, but do that now. I'm not saying you have to do it in the next minute. We're going to be on for like another half an hour or so. I don't mind people giving opinions, but the second you say it's backed up with science, a science consensus research, well, you could link one study that's effective, Moback. I'm not saying you have to link me like 12 different studies. Like, link me one study And we could start from there. I love this song. I came back at the right time. You did. Basically, you can get good grades, but it doesn't mean you learned anything. That's how messed up our school system is. Oh, gotcha. That's what you're saying. Gotcha. Very true. My grades on paper may look like I struggled, but I went through challenging lessons and learned so much more than someone like my hubs. No offense to him. To each their own. I love school, and he didn't. Yeah. I cheated a bunch well, not a bunch. I cheated in high school for sure. Oh, yeah. I 100% cheated. Mainly in history, I think. I didn't learn a lot. I got better grades with it. I didn't learn a lot. Your story holds true. Pitch plays games. Am I still doing boot.dev? I am. Yeah. Today we're taking a little break to do a Q&A. But I am. Starting Monday, we'll dive back into it. I don't think I'm going to do the article before. I don't like the whole point of doing it is like to gain a little traction on YouTube, and I don't think it works. I think we have to like have a dedicated day to do an article. So I'll probably just be diving into boot.dev. I forgot what lesson we're on, but I'm going to be diving into that on Monday. The way he described it, it was easy to cheat. Yeah. It wasn't too hard to cheat. Probably very easy to cheat now with AI. Yeah, it is vague. Apologies, in my mind, it's junior positions and companies that build tools for other companies. So in my mind, they move fast and need to make things fast, specifically for the front end. You need to hit the ground running, but don't mistake that for like not having a shaky foundation. If again, we're kind of speaking generically, like if we're talking about like, should you be more comfortable with the abstractions, the practical, or the foundation, it's going to be the foundation for most positions, most junior positions. You need both. But the problem I see among many junior developers is okay, Moback, is that you in Twitch? Just to make sure. It's Moback? Okay. All right. We can pull this up. Let me finish replying and we can pull it up. But yeah, I would say like, again, the big problem I see with junior developers is they don't really have a solid foundation. And they get tested on that often. And coding challenges can kind of like dig into that a bit and test that, and they just fail. I'm already a systems engineer, but I work more with infrastructure trying to get into DevOps. Oh, okay, cool. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, I missed some chat messages. I found your videos where you're going through the exercises, and I was trying to find reviews as I'm trying to convince my job to pay for it. Oh, very cool. Okay. Will it get you more comfortable with DevOps? I don't know. Maybe. I never thought of boot.dev for that. Goes into DevOps things, but yeah, I never thought of that. But yeah, hopefully you can get that paid, man. That'd be pretty cool. Momo, okay, so here's what's not going to happen, Momo. Don't spam my chat with a bunch of articles without context. What I want you to do, let's look at an article, and it's fine. Like, we can look at a couple individual things, but give context about that article and, like, essentially the results of it, right? Works, Ben. Thanks for the follow, man. Welcome. Because, like, when you just spam a bunch of stuff, how am I going to know what to even start with? Right? So let's go back to your original point, Moback. Pidge plays games. Thanks for the follow, man. Where is it? Blah, 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 blah. Science. Search for science. Moback is a science guy, which I like. Hello? Science. Where's your message? Oh, I am not. Oh, you misspelled science. The one word you misspelled, I searched for it. I could not find it. Okay. So you are so your opinion essentially is kind of something you are born with as a certain kind of like innate intelligence. And you are saying that there are just people that do not have that are not going to be successful with software engineers. And my claim is outside of kind of like a severe learning disability, and let me just, because I've emphasized this before, but I did not do that this stream. Outside of a severe learning disability, almost anyone could become a software engineer given that they're interested and they put time into it. That's my claim. But you are saying studies and science consensus back you up. So what article do you want to check out first? And like, what am I trying to get out of that article? What is that article proving? Or the research study? It's okay. It's like, I'll give you a bit of time because you're just trying to like scramble with a bunch of this, and you did it quickly, and I appreciate that. But I think this is such an important topic that I think will kill a lot of people's confidence, because a lot of people have this idea that they're not intelligent enough to be a software engineer. So let's start with something. Give me a link and give me context. What we're looking into with this link. And we'll dive into it for you. You've been around in the community for a while, so we will do this for sure. I feel like so much of the job now is staring at setting up data log dashboards and integrating telemetry. Dewey, what are you doing right now? What is your title? I forgot. Okay, so Pigeon, I would, guided to, but let's be honest about this. You mentioned if you want boot.dev reviews, you could go to their Discord and ask people about their experience with the platform. I would argue if you are asking publicly, most of the people that want to talk about their experience that are still in the Discord are going to give you positive reviews. The negative reviews are not going to come up. So here's the thing. When I brought on candidates for the coding bootcamp reviews I did, I specifically made a lot of people give a positive take on the coding bootcamp if they were a hater, and give a negative take on the coding bootcamp if they were just like a super fan, before I brought them on. And I kind of tested that. I'm like, are you a cult member of this program, or are you just a hater and want to see it burn? I didn't care about either of those two. Those two weren't going to be constructive on my podcast. So I would argue, from my experience recruiting a lot of coding bootcamp graduates for the coding bootcamp reviews, I went through and like I really tried to like get constructive people on, but a lot of people are afraid, especially if it's going to be public, especially if they're still in that community, of coming onto my podcast to share their negative opinion. I would argue that you are going to get very rare negative experiences by asking people who are still in the boot.dev server. I'm not saying it won't happen, but I don't think that's going to give you a realistic perspective. What might give you a realistic perspective is reaching out to people on LinkedIn who put boot.dev in their profile. You got to filter through a lot of those. So I'd be careful about trusting that. But yes, that is one way to start like talking to people and getting some opinions about people. But that's just my experience with recruiting bootcamp graduates. It can be really tricky. If this is the case, I will be a software engineer out of spite. It's like, it's not the case. I've mentored way too many people, and I have not seen that be the case. Again, outside of a severe learning disability. We're talking like Down syndrome. We're talking like there are other learning disabilities, but like Down syndrome is a big one that kind of comes to mind, where we got to just set our expectations a little bit more realistic. But it's, yeah. So, yeah, I'm still waiting because all you did, Momo, can you go ahead and just give some context? Like, give me something to look at and give me the context of what we're looking at, right? Like, what does this article or this research paper prove? I have not seen that from you. Have you seen the roadmap before? Of boot.dev, I have, yeah. It does go into some DevOps things. Talent plus hard work training allows someone to be one of the greatest engineers. Yep. Hard work alone is enough to get you to be a great engineer. Yes, 100% agree with that. My title is just, okay, senior software engineer. Okay. Thank you. Have you tried learning from computer science books? I found it to be a game changer versus course, but maybe that's just my learning style. I read a lot of computer science books when I was going for computer networking. Not a lot, a few. I didn't like it, but I wasn't that serious into it. I don't think I have recently. It's more of a less a generalist role. They just expect the team to own the system across the stack. Okay, gotcha, Dewey. Oh, I've not seen the DevOps roadmap. No, I have not. All right, so my claim is it is partly genetic, and I think it determines people's skill ceiling. All right, let's take a look at this. Medline Plus. All right, hold up. I'm going to move some windows around. Is intelligence determined by genetics? I'm going to skim through it a bit. Or is it just this article? Like most aspects of human behavior and cognition, intelligence is a complex trait that is influenced by both genetic and environment factors, which I do agree with. So, the claim, let me be very clear. The claim that I'm making is that like 99% of people without severe learning disabilities can easily become a software engineer, given that they have interests and they invest the time into it. That's my claim, which essentially implies that genetics plays a very small role in its limitation of becoming a software engineer. That is my implication. What your implication sounds like is that it plays a larger role, a much larger role. So before we go down this rabbit hole, would you say that you're implying that, and we'll just like use this percentage, right? So we can like we can agree on something. Are you saying that my statement of 99% of people without a severe learning disability can become software engineers is incorrect? Would you say that? Because if we agree there's no reason to dive into it. And you're just saying, yeah, genetics can play an extremely small role. Okay. That's what we were talking about becoming a software engineer. I'm not saying they can't become software engineer. It might play a role in a difference in what they can achieve. Bobek. Hold on. I might be wrong. I'm going to reread. Okay. This is an entirely different thing. Hold on. I might be wrong in my understanding. See? If I'm wrong, I will admit it, but I'm going to reread what you said. Hold on. We're going to bring it up over here. Good music on Twitch, by the way, if you're not on Twitch. All right, we ready? But we have to be honest, not everyone can make it. When the going gets tough, the most intelligent will succeed. This is the statement that I am countering right here. I am calling bullshit because you explained intelligence as something that's like native, it's inherent, it's something that like a kind of a factor that you were born with, a trait that you were born with. My argument is that plays extremely little in terms of like, because we're talking about like landing a job and becoming a software engineer. My take is that what you are born with outside of a severe learning disability has very little influence over you becoming a software engineer if we're talking about essentially intelligence in the regard of like what it takes to become a software engineer and do the job. So it sounds like you're like changing it a little bit. Maybe I'm wrong. I'll wait for your response. But we have to be honest, not everyone can make it. What I meant about that is when the market is really tight, it is much easier for more intelligent people. I said it partly. So that's not what you're saying. So what you're implying is that people with some, and like what you're going to find is that a lot of people, they're what's regarded as their intelligence a lot of times has to do with their upbringing. It is not something nearly as impactful or influential as what they were born with. So you've identified this like innate thing, what you were born with, as like this trait of intelligence. But that's not what you're saying, Mobak. That's not what you're saying. I think you're being a bit disingenuous. I'm going to read this again, but we have to be honest, not everyone can make it when the going gets tough. The most intelligent make it. What do you guys think about that? So what he's essentially implying is kind of a more of an influence of what you're born with in terms of intelligence. What do you guys think about that? Let's talk about that. I don't think you realize what you're implying with that, and I think maybe you mean something else. What do you guys think of that? What's up, Jeremy? I would love to hear your opinion. What's up, man? How you doing? People do have skill ceilings for sure, but I think that a lot of folks underestimate their own abilities to learn coding. I agree with that. There are going to be caps in terms of like what certain people are going to achieve in their lifetime as they go down this career path. But those caps are so much higher than a lot of people realize. And so the reason we're digging into this is because I think it's incredibly destructive to tell junior developers that the most intelligent people are the ones that are going to make it. Right? That's where this kind of all started. I think it's very dangerous advice to give. The sheer intelligence needed to be a software engineer is a lot lower than people think. That doesn't mean it's easy. Yes, that is something I think a lot of us can agree with. It does depend on a lot of type of software engineering, though. It does, but not like what type of software engineering do you think is going to be capped by an innate intelligence in terms of getting into that industry? So I just checked out the Twitch side, and the music is indeed banging over there. Love it. Intelligence has little to do with someone's ability, or intelligence has little to nothing to do with someone's ability to push through. I think the definition of Like how a lot of people perceive intelligence, I think can vary. But it's a knowledge game. It's 100% a knowledge game in terms of this career and being successful as a software engineer. It's an interest and a knowledge game. 99% of people include people unable to tie their own shoes. Forrest Gump, I think no more than 40% can have a real shot. No, it doesn't. I literally said like outside of severe learning disabilities. I gave Down syndrome as like an example. My opinion, I think the most critical component to someone's success is discipline and grit. 100% agree with that. I think it all comes down to your analytical and problem-solving skills, which can be improved. It is trainable. It is 100% trainable, yes. I think some people might be more inclined to certain fields than others, but it doesn't mean some people can't get to the same level as others. I think that is fair to say, but I think that inclination actually comes with what we're exposed to. A big part of that is what we're exposed to. Yes, we are going to have a certain type of personality, but the way our upbringing triggers our genetics in the unique way that our DNA is designed will provide some sort of inclination. With that in context, I do think you're going to have certain people that are inclined towards different paths than others. But I think when we're talking about learning and becoming a problem solver and developing critical thinking skills, a lot of this comes down to learned traits and our environment influencing that. I met people who are really smart and gifted, many of which don't use their gifts. I think because it comes easy to them, it's rare to find someone who is both gifted and passionate in the same thing. I think it's a tortoise and hare situation. Those born with advantage tend to slow down since there's less to drive them. I think that's a fair assessment. We do hear about people like that. My opinion is we all want to be special. I know for sure I am not one of the special people that can achieve big things, for example. What? One of my friends is a self-admittedly not good at math, but she's the most bubbly and naturally friendly person I know, and her interest and skill is in customer-facing positions in which she excels. But if she loved math, I wouldn't put it past her to get there, even though it takes her longer. And that's what I've seen with so many aspiring developers as they've kind of grown as software engineers. That's exactly what I've seen. Because I know my limits, I almost push myself really hard and I'm consistently learning. It's tied to evolution. There is a natural variation in intelligence within populations. The inclination comes from environment exposure. I think you're projecting. I think you're projecting a bit. And I think it's okay to be proud of what you've achieved. And I think there are a lot of people that are not going to become a software engineer, and they're not really meant to be, right? It's not really in the cards for them because they're not investing the time into it because they're not that interested in it, right? There are multiple reasons why it might not be in the cards for someone, but I don't think this born intelligence has ever been one of them. I have never seen that in any of my mentorship sessions outside of severe learning disabilities. I've not seen that. I've mentored thousands of people. I feel like you had mentioned your daughter, and I think you had gained a little bit of knowledge in this respect. Do you, I don't know what your situation is with your daughter, because you mentioned it in chat, but do you feel like maybe you've cherry-picked some of this, given your own biases around this topic? Do you think you've kind of created this like self-limitation and that's influenced the articles and the research articles that you've cherry-picked? Because like at first I was willing to dig into some of these articles, but I think you're kind of like slowly, you're expanding a bit. And I think it's a little bit different than where we started in terms of like your claim. I don't think I'm fully understanding. You know what helps me? One thing I like that Destiny does, political streamer, triggers a lot of people. I'll bring them up once in a while. What I like to hear and I think it kind of like can get people understanding each other, is like, what percentage, like let's come up with a percentage. What percentage of the population, we'll say US population, or like we could do world population. I don't, just make it clear what you're saying. What percentage, like outside of severe learning disabilities, what percentage of the population do you think is not intelligent enough to become a software engineer? Let's start with that, because we're kind of like giving these arbitrary opinions about like, yeah, like like part of it is like what you're born with, it's genetic. Like what percentage of that? And I think we start with that by analyzing like what percentage of people do you think in the world population are able to become software engineers? They have the intelligence and the way that you're defining it to become software engineers. What is that percentage? Oh, Zinka's pitching in 50. Okay, I'm asking Momo. Okay, you think 50? So let me be clear. I'm talking about innate intelligence, what you were born with. Let me catch up with YouTube chat. I think interest and curiosity play a much bigger role. You'll always lose to someone who's more obsessed. You will. Yes. And passionate about people are... Oh, and passionate, those people are eager to learn. For example, my friend works at Hudson River Trading. He works on C++ code for high-frequency stock trading. That's a cap that I don't think I can reach. Okay. So I would even go further to say that most people cap themselves when that cap doesn't exist. It's imaginary. And maybe more of you would disagree on that. But it's expected that not everyone works on code that has multi-billion-dollar consequences. Yeah, I'm with you on that, Jeremy. If you were truly interested and you dedicated all of your time to that, Dewey, I think you are limiting yourself prematurely. So you would do, yo, that's way different, Dewey. You said, but I don't think I would want to put the time to be good at it. I agree with that. 100%. And there are some people that might take a little bit more time with that. I doubt you can change a lot of these pessimist minds. I would just let them believe what they want. It's their life. But that's not the point of the stream, though. First of all, Moback, he's usually on YouTube. He's been around for a while. I am more than happy to have these conversations, even if this person wants to triple down, quadruple down on their opinion. That's completely fine. Like if they're part of the community, I think it's a good conversation for everyone. We're getting a lot of people's takes. We can dig into it a bit more. I actually think it's a good thing to talk about these things. Like, even if I don't convince them, it's still like a good conversation for the stream, right? So I think it's fine that we're having this conversation. Like, I'm not gonna like lose sleep because I didn't convince Moback of to change his opinion on this, right? If we're going by averages and it's 50%, then it's disingenuous statistics. You think 50% is disingenuous statistics, or it is 50%? If some company tests 1,000 mid devs, I'm sure that median IQ is going to be above 105. I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that. It's such an obvious thing. Gaia, here's what I don't want. And I'm going to curb this. We're going to do like, I'll give you a warning. When you start saying this is, no. I got to time you out for that. When you start saying like things like it's such an obvious thing, it's common sense, like you're just being a dick. Don't act like that here. Like, it's fine if you want to like double down on this and kind of explain why, but don't be a dick about it. Come on. It's always a choice. It's never a question of ability. It's a question of if the return is worth the trade-off. Someone smarter than me gets there faster. Yes. So, but it depends on, no, it depends on smarter. Again, like learning is define smarter, Dewey. Define smarter. Like my trade-off of getting there is higher than someone who is more intelligent. So you're really basing this off of like this innate intelligence. Would you say intelligence is a learned skill? Or would you say it's like would you say it's a learned skill or you're born with it? Is it more of a learned skill or is it more of you're born with it? All right, let me catch up with Twitch. If you're gifted, what makes you... okay, so if you're gifted, what makes you think your child is slow? Where did he mention gifted? Let me catch up a little bit. The thing about knowing your limits is you never really know if you stop trying to be beyond them. The amount of times I thought I couldn't do something and decided to try it anyway, only to prove myself wrong, is enough to keep me going. Like, honestly, that's such a powerful realization. And again, kind of like what Mobak is implying is, like, it limits you from ever believing that. My grandma was a professor at a university. I like continually learning, but I'm no genius. According to Wikipedia, IQ is 80% inheritable, aka genetic. Okay, type in chat. Type in chat if that's true, if you believe that. 80% of your intelligence is inheritable, it's genetic. Of course, Wikipedia is such an excellent resource. But I'm just curious what you guys think about that. I might be, but I see that I learn 3 to 4 times faster than people I work with. You don't think you're a better student? Like, maybe you're just a better student. Maybe the way you think, your perspective, is something that could be taught to those people. You don't think bad developers aren't taught to learn and assess things properly? Of course it's a learned skill. It's always been a learned skill. You did make it though, Zinka. What's up? Okay, so now we're catching up a bit. The doctors told me it's inheritance in those articles where all those first page on Google, my search was intelligence is inheritance. My search was okay, so that's what you search for. Again, you're kind of giving these generic statements that intelligence is inherited. By how much? I'll catch up a little bit, but my question to you was, what % of the population is not going to become software engineers, or could become software engineers based off of your limit that you're giving them of their intelligence? They're born with intelligence. So what % of the world population outside of severe learning disability has a potential to become a software engineer? Right? Wasn't that my question? My oldest son is naturally smart. Things come easy. When things became hard, he pivoted from mechanical engineering. My daughter is at ASU, not the brightest, but a hard worker. She's 2 years from a bachelor's in business marketing. Let's go. I'm going with 30%. That is crazy percentages. It does depend on what they mean by IQ, Jeremy. That's kind of just something that feels kind of ambiguous in the way, just because of, like, so many people have different interpretations of IQ. I think it's too complex to guess, so every number is just a guess. We can't determine what percentage, but we could still talk about it. Momo, like, I don't feel like you're engaging in a genuine conversation now. Now I'm a little bit disappointed in you. I'm not saying that you have to be 100% accurate, but if you can't even give me a percentage of people you think in the world that can become a software engineer outside of severe learning disabilities, like, it's not meant to, I'm not saying dig up research and articles and science consensus for this. I'm saying if you had to take a guess, you had to put your money on the table of the percentage, I want to know how many people in the world you think can become a software engineer. Like, I think you're taking yourself way too seriously at this point. Just give a percentage. Let's kind of like assess where you are at with this. I mean, I have average intelligence, if not below. LOL, I barely can grasp it, so I don't have faith that most people can do it. Okay. Craig, I don't care about clicking on a Wikipedia article. I was being sarcastic. I don't think, like, we're going to get anything serious from a Wikipedia article. I believe it's genetic, but that's my uninformed opinion. There are plenty of developer jobs that people with more average intelligence can do, such as front end. What? Let me read that again. There are plenty of developer jobs that people with more average intelligence can do, such as front end. Your example of a more like a developer job that only like more intelligent can do is front end. To be clear, I'm not saying front end people are dumb, but what are these assessments? How do you guys have these perceptions of these specific types of positions? Yeah, Momo, I think you're taking yourself too seriously a bit, and I think you have little to no humility in this. Like, we should be able to just have kind of like a casual thing, like, what percentage do you think? Because now you're just arguing to argue, I think. I'm not saying you have to be scientifically correct, but, like, if you can't even give me a percentage of the number of the population, like, you're so confident that like the ability to become a software engineer is limited by this innate intelligence. Like, you can't even give me an estimated percentage of the population just for fun. I feel like you have like you're just arguing to argue at this point. Like, give me a percentage. Just give me a percentage. Zinka, I think he was saying front-end developers are smart. That's how I read that. You thought that was understood? Why did you think that was understood? When did you ever say 80 to 90% can become a software engineer? When did you ever think that was understood? Mobek, you have this habit of like, I don't think you argue well. I think you take it personally. I think like you take yourself way too seriously, where we could dig into like we can dig in and be critical about the argument that you're making. But I think like you're the type of person that kind of neglects to provide certain context, or like you kind of start changing what you're implying. And then you like get a little defensive with some of your messaging around it. I've noticed that about you. I did make some badass game cards today. Yo, let's go. Like 80 to 90% isn't most. Above 50% is most. I don't know. This is like, I've seen this before in you. And I understand I'm putting a little pressure on you, but like you are someone that will quadruple down with something, but then you kind of change the implication a little bit, or like, I think your assumptions are just completely off in what you're implying. It's not, no, I don't think you're a bad arguer. I think you are a bit disingenuous, and I think you lack humility with it. I'm not even saying you're wrong, but it's just like, for it to take that long just to give you like an estimate, for you to give us an estimate, is just, what is the point of this argument, like quadrupling down on this? Because what I'm saying is I have not seen this and the thousands of people that I've mentored. And so I am willing to look into research articles to prove me wrong. But the implication did change slightly, and so we kind of like narrowed that down. We got additional context. But the implication really kills the confidence of a lot of developers, like a lot of aspiring developers. What you're implying is very destructive towards a lot of insecure people. And yes, should they be insecure? No. But what you're implying does a lot of damage to very insecure people trying to become software engineers. Like, what you're doing is literally just snuffing out hope with so many people that feel like they aren't intelligent enough. When I talk about like what it takes to become a software engineer, I'm really talking about like their interest and the time investment and realistic expectations. A lot of people fuck themselves over with unrealistic expectations. So there's a lot of potential and a lot of habits to learn that they can improve their situation. But I think we have to be really careful about the implications of what we say, because when you snuff out that hope of people that don't think they're intelligent enough, that is just something core that people feel like they can't change. And now their potential to pursue different career paths, to pursue software engineering, it gets squashed in their head and they give up. That is not a good reason to give up on software engineering, because you feel like you're not intelligent enough. So I think we have to be very careful when we're talking about intelligence, and that being like, what was the percentage? I don't even know who gave it. Like 80% of your intelligence is inherited. It's like, you got to understand like how people are going to perceive that. I don't think you argue well. Is that what I said? I think I was just reading what he said. If that's what I said, then is that what I said? Because if I said that, I can reword that. Let me catch up with chat, though. I like the conversation. It's a good conversation. The difficulty of determining if intelligence is inherited in a study is that there are a lot of confounding variables. Environment is also often inherited in many ways. I agree with that. Which is why I was like willing to dig into the study to see like what they're doing to try to kind of extract out certain variables so that it doesn't have influence. But the innate born with intelligence determines the absolute ceiling that someone can reach in a lifetime. I'll catch up with chat. Sorry, there's just a lot of chat messages. I'm just navigating like what to read. Personally, when I don't get a job or don't accomplish something, one of the excuses that pops into my head is to justify it as the others that are more innately intelligent than me. That's why they got it and I didn't. When all I really need to do is own up to the fact that it may not be my position or I didn't put as much effort into it. Others more intelligent feels like an excuse. It's almost always an excuse. I'm not saying there is an influence, but it's almost always an excuse. I did not think about that. I often feel dumb myself. I think you're projecting. And I do see your message of like, you are right. I should have been more considerate. I think you're totally fine. Just to be clear, I love having you in the community. This is a specific point that I'm driving in on because I see it's fucking over so many people, right? I don't think you're like, I don't think you're a mean person for saying any of this. But it was like a gut feeling that I think you are very self-limiting in what you are capable of. Because I know you were working your ass off to become a software engineer. I know like you started with that startup and things were going well. You worked your fucking ass off to be able to get that next position and move into like, and start like moving forward and gaining momentum with your career. And now you're in a position that it sounds like now you're making forward momentum, and that is fucking awesome. But yes, I do think we need to be careful and we need to be very specific about how many people we think is going to be affected if we're saying essentially, dumb people, good luck, you're not getting a software engineer position. Just because there are so many people that do not hold themselves in high regard in terms of their intelligence, and they will quit because of it. You know why software engineers should quit? They should quit because they don't care about it enough. They should quit because they quit their job and it's no longer feasible to pursue it full time. They got to pick up another job, and maybe they have a new kid, or like just emergencies come up. There are good reasons to at the very least take a break. But when we determine, like once you solidify in your head that you aren't smart enough to become a software engineer, that stays in people's minds. That is stuck there. You have no idea how hard it is to get that mindset out of people. And slowly, over a good year or two, show them that they're not dumb, that they are intelligent, that they are capable, and that their perceived intelligence is not a limiter. So I think like the reason I'm driving this so hard is the impact that that statement has, which you already recognize. I'm not trying to like beat a dead horse. You already recognize that, right? But I think it is interesting because like Jeremy, I think you make a good point. When we're measuring IQ, and at least some of the studies that I've determined, I have a real hard time of determining if this is really... Can I not think of the word? I'm thinking of like nurture, nature. Environment. What is the other word? The opposite word. Environment, what? I keep saying like innate intelligence, what you're born with, because for some reason, I can't think of the word. What is the word that I'm thinking of? So it's like the same thing as nature, but it's like a different word to represent nature. Do you guys know what I'm talking about? Am I just like crazy talking out of my ass? Please, someone say something. Genetic? No, that's not what I'm thinking of. Oh, well, you guys know what I mean. But I think it's interesting to... But anyways, when I was looking in different articles, because I was more into psychology and learning when I was at Purdue, and it felt like it was very hard to agree. And again, this was a while ago, but it was very hard to determine like what IQ essentially was and what it was influenced by. It's really hard to narrow that down and extract a lot of variables that are going to affect it. It's usually nature versus nurture. Okay. Maybe I'm just like making up a word in my head that doesn't exist. Never mind. Okay. Because that's what I'm thinking of, like nature versus nurture. Okay, let me catch up with the chat messages. Let's see. This is why people say compare yourself to past you, not others. End of the day, if you're able to improve a little in a month, it doesn't matter if it's taken someone else a day, so long as you getting somewhere. You know what? Never mind. Let me continue reading. I've given enough opinions. I want to catch up. And looking at yourself 6 months ago, a year ago, and comparing it to where you are now helps with that feeling of being stagnant or not intelligent or far along enough. 100% agree. And what's up, Renda Dan? Sorry, I'm sure there are messages that I did not get to. We're having a really interesting conversation. And honestly, thank you for bringing it up, Mobak. Okay, caught up quite a bit. On Twitch. There are two types of int 100. One is CPU, another is OS software. That's why IQ is mega important and it's 100% innate. I'm just going to ban you. I think you're just stupid. There's literally no research to ever suggest that. I think you're just stupid. My goal, people ask, is to shift their focus. I'm worrying about if they're smart enough to if they have the grit to get through a hard problem. Honestly, you know what? Fuck it. You're right. Mobak, you're right. We just found someone that I don't think has the intelligence to become a software engineer. I think you're 100% right. We banned him on YouTube. I'm wrong. You're right. I back down. You win. The debate is usually, okay, so every time I learn a new concept, I'm literally LOing. Every time I learn a new concept, I feel like the dumbest person until I don't because of stubbornness. I feel dumb too. Honestly, I feel dumb too. And like, I had to fight that for a long time. I just waited for so many years. And maybe this is why I'm like so, like, I want to be critical and challenge this. I waited 7 years to become a software engineer because I felt like I was too stupid. 7 years. It wasn't even an option for me. Not in my head. Yeah, everyone does feel dumb. Long before IQ becomes a limiting factor, discipline and grit will have filtered people out. Intelligence isn't a filter at all. That's what I was trying to say. There are too many unknown variables to even determine what makes people intelligent. Well, if you would have said that, we wouldn't have gone down this rabbit hole. But I'm glad you didn't, because I think we had a good conversation about it. And it got me to like get a feel for people's opinions about this topic too. Again, I truly love that you brought it up. And the reason why I'm even engaging with it is because, you know, we love to have you in the community. You listen, you guys know me. I'm a dog with a bone. If something like triggers me or something like that, I will dig in and dig in and dig in, and I will challenge people. Dude, that's me. You guys know me already. But still, like, the result was a really cool conversation to like hear people's, not even like their thoughts about this, but like just sharing their own insecurities and like what blocked them from becoming a developer. Like that's the kind of conversation I love having here. Imposter syndrome keeps making you feel dumb. What's up, Low Kiabu? We're just having a good conversation. What are you up to? Is this why they say do not argue with dumb people? They will bring you down to their level. Not that he was dumb. The first tech job was dumb. Yeah. No, Mobac isn't dumb. Smart dude. Smarter than he realizes. That was a great rabbit hole. I agree. I dropped out of college in a CS degree because my dad said it was a waste of time, that I was too dumb. If I didn't listen to him, I would be 10 years ahead of where I am. Don't let people hold you back. 100%. But I enjoy feeling dumb only after I've developed the confidence to always trust myself that I'll understand it at some point. I would hire someone with discipline over someone who has a high tested IQ. Man, I don't even know if any companies would ever give a shit about your IQ. Like, what? Do you guys know any companies that'll test on IQ or hire based on IQ? I'm not necessarily saying promoting within, but like hiring outside. Even promoting within, honestly. I'm going to sound controversial here, but this is my take. Everyone can learn anything if given unlimited time. Intelligence is a rate of learning. You can improve that rate of learning by practice. I think that's fair. I still think you can improve your rate of learning by becoming a better student. I do think there are inherited factors that can limit that. I just don't think it's for most people, it's at any level that's going to be worth assessing. In my country, they do give IQ tests for working as a cashier. What the fuck? Okay, hold up. What? This isn't... Okay. This is not a call out on you. What the fuck did I just read? In my country, they do give you IQ tests for working as a cashier. Holy shit, no wonder you believe this. Can you remind me the country again? Aren't some thing interview questions tended to filter based on intelligence? It's more cognitive ability. It's problem solving. It's more knowledge based, not IQ, from what I've heard. I have a degree in criminal justice that I just can't use. The ASVAB for the military is essentially an IQ test. Yeah, and you did an awesome job, Anonymous, with that. Congratulations. Or with that graduation. I think there are some talk about companies doing IQ type testing in interviews during COVID. I think it was a few companies and they got backlash. Okay, interesting. It's true, they really do. Norway? Do we gotta have a conversation with Scrimba? Aren't they from Norway? Scrimba, what? Don't get me wrong. Like, I like the dudes at Scrimba. But... What is Norway doing? You have to use auto-translate? English. Is this... Okay. Is this like one example, or are we talking about like a majority? I think we have to assess that, right? To get a part-time job as a salesperson at a sports store, Peter Tanberg had to answer math problems and logic tests. Are we just like generically labeling everything as an IQ test? Like they ask you some like problem-solving stuff, and I don't know if I would call this an IQ test. I feel like this is like very cherry-picked. I don't know about that one. I personally talked to the CEO of Scrimba. He congratulated me on DM for my job. I trained with a friend of... That's awesome, man. But yeah, I'm just saying, like, I thought Scrimba was from Norway. I should ask them about that. But I feel like that was a bit cherry-picked. And I wonder if that's, like... Hey, Riff, thanks for the sub, man. Welcome. I'm wondering if that's really something I would define as an IQ test. Yeah, that feels a little bit different than an IQ test. I don't think assessing problem-solving ability or even like math ability is like necessarily an IQ test. An IQ test will kind of test a range of things, but it's kind of like people calling like every coding challenge a leak code problem. Yeah, like every company just gives you leak code problems, so you got to study leak code problems. Like we got to break that down, and what does that mean? You know? Oh, ASVAB was a test on what we knew. Okay, so it wasn't necessarily... It was a knowledge test. As interpretation, that means every management consulting case interview is an IQ test. Yeah, I get those vibes too. According to you, what's the best way to learn to code? There is no best way to learn to code. But the two programs I recommend in terms of front-end or back-end is Scrimba and Boot.dev. It's why I'm an affiliate partner with them. That would be useless because I really do not think high IQ correlates with high performance as a software engineer. We got to do some studies, huh? We got to do our own studies. I've never run across a company that does that test for IQ. I do think the feeling of imposter syndrome does carry some truth, though. Whenever I feel like an imposter, it's usually because I am not up to speed about the subject being discussed. I agree with that. Yeah. But again, I do think imposter syndrome is a confidence issue. I think you can know very little and be confident with that, and you don't feel imposter syndrome. I don't necessarily think it means that you don't know enough, but I do think it's a confidence issue at the very least. I've been trying to learn coding, but it's giving me a hard time because I don't the correct way. I have been watching so many tutorials and all, but still feel like I am not getting enough. Are you building stuff with it? Just, yeah, like over time, stuff is going to start getting reinforced, but make sure you're getting out of the courses and building stuff with it to reinforce that. What's up, Galter? We're just chatting. How you doing, man? Chatting about becoming a web dev and all that. And I did see the study that you mentioned. I'm sure I missed some messages. Not like I'm in Norway and not discounting Mobac's experience, but the practice of using IQ tests for job placements would also face scrutiny under Norwegian labor laws and ethical guidelines regarding discrimination and fairness in employment practices. Okay. Norway emphasizes equality and inclusivity, which means any form of testing must be justified and relevant to the job requirements without unfairly excluding candidates. But yeah, I feel like that article was cherry-picked a bit. I think it was mislabeled. Or that situation that the article called out was cherry-picked. I think it's great to hire people. So, like, there's a grocery store that hires severely mentally disabled people in my area. I think that's fucking awesome. To have an IQ test for cashier position where you are only processing transactions is incredibly stupid. I don't mean that in an insulting way. No, I mean that in an insulting way. The managers are stupid. I do. Unnecessarily. There are certain positions where you're going to assess cognitive ability. Sometimes it's just a current knowledge ability. Like, you're going to assess different parts of your intelligence for sure. But that is crazy to ever see something... Like, I would be curious about, like, why you are required to know math. What are they trying to assess there? I think I'd want to dig into the exact reason. What are they trying to figure out? Or if it's just a generic assessment that they haven't thought much of. And they're... I don't know. Sometimes companies can get a little bit lazy with their assessment and trying to automate things. Like, if they're getting so many applicants, you kind of choose some arbitrary stuff that may or may not properly filter out the right people. But, you know, fuck it, because we got to trim this stack of applications by 50% or 75%. Oh, you're an Air Force vet. Cool. Okay, security forces. Very cool. Are flashcards good when learning programming? Usually not, no. Usually focuses on remembering syntax, and that syntax will be remembered through building and using what you're learning. Remembering syntax is one of the last things that you should really care about. It'll come with time and usage. Yeah, maybe there's some weird stuff happening with Norway. I don't know, but like you might just be finding articles to illustrate that point. And I think I'd want to know like what percentage of companies are testing for IQ, like what percentage of like manual labor positions are, or just like kind of just part-time jobs that don't really require like a high special skill set are requiring IQ tests or similar, whatever they label as IQ tests. Yeah, if you don't build stuff, you'll stay in tutorial haze forever. This is very true. You're welcome, Sam. Happy Sam. Do you think it's more useful to learn a low-level language as a second language than another high language? It depends on what you're going towards. Like, what kind of... Sounds like you're diving into software engineering. What are you diving into? Are you curious about something a little bit more lower level? I think that matters. Like, if I'm talking to a front-end developer, I'm not going to tell them, yeah, you should learn a lower level language. I don't think that, like, if their time is already spent trying to be efficient, I don't think telling them to learn a lower level language makes sense, right? I think it depends on your goals. It becomes a little bit more broad, and I think it's more helpful on the back end, not necessarily front end. What makes you think you are qualified to give advice? Trying to think of something witty. I can't think of anything. I'm just gonna ban you. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sorry, dude. I could have used that as a joke, and I'm just like, my brain is just fried. I'm so sorry. I let you guys down. My wittiness is just gone. It's fried. Oh, I will do better next time. I promise you guys. I will do better next time. I will come with the jokes. Yeah, what's qualified? Ask a question, get advice. If you take it, I I just don't care. I don't care about people like that. In fact, you know what? Fuck it. Everything that I'm saying, like, take with a grain of salt. Of course, take it with a grain of salt. And you know what you should do is when I say something that you disagree with, what you should do is go to another content creator that does agree with you and then take their advice, because their advice is probably right because you believe it. That's what a lot of people do. So just do that. That's cool. We're chilling. I was witty for you. Don't worry. Thank you, Jessa. I don't know. I just remember having the same reaction as you, that it's not necessary for the job to have those tests. Yeah, that's crazy, man. That is crazy. Everyone has advice to share. Why do you ever notice something? And I'm not trying to brag. I don't think I'm like this good person for it or anything. But you ever notice how I really don't think I do this, and you call me out if I do. I engage with brand new people as if they have something worth talking about. They have an argument worth talking about. I may go hard with my arguments, especially when it's a really important topic. But when new people come here, I don't care if you've been in the industry or not. I care more about your argument and your positioning and backing it up with examples than I do, like, I'm not like, oh, well, like, are you even a senior developer? Like, you don't know what the fuck you're talking about, right? I don't care about your experience. And like, to your point, low key, like, everyone has advice to share, and it might be a bit limited with limited experience, but it doesn't mean we can't create a good conversation about it. It doesn't mean I haven't learned from people that are getting into the industry, often that bring a lot of intelligence and experience from other areas, other industries where they were experts, and they still bring a unique perspective. I don't like this whole, like, are you qualified to be giving advice? It's just cringe to me. Yeah, I'm the guy you should all be listening to. Listen to Jeremy. He knows. That's why you got to start streaming. I think it's so dumb when people challenge a streamer. I come here to use them as a platform to have a discussion, not to follow. Yeah, exactly. Hold on. Wait, let me look at his account. What is your... How new is it? Okay, he's okay. It's like 6 months old. I thought maybe that was the guy that we banned. I thought that would be really funny if it was a brand new account, like he created it today. Never mind. I have no opportunities to create jokes anymore. I lost my chance. I had one chance and I blew it. Like, sometimes, like, people have that opportunity in life to just, like, nail it, and I lost that opportunity, and it's all downhill from here. Take it with a grain of salt, as the rest of life. Very true. And it is Friday. It is Friday. All right, guys. I think that's it. We've been live for a while. I appreciate the conversation. I'm going to leave it up on YouTube. Don't leave on Twitch. We're going to raid someone. Show them some love. Let's go ahead and I'm going to make it so this stream stays up on YouTube, and I'm sure I'll get at least one person triggered in the comments with it. We're going to not unlist that. We're going to keep it up. We'll keep it rolling. My argument, tech content creators should start their videos by saying, I am trying to sell you something before offering advice. Are you saying all tech creators? Like, they're not allowed to talk? Please say that, because I need, like, someone else to roast. I need to, like, save my reputation here. Is that what you're saying? No, not all? You know the ones? No, I don't know the ones. Oh, well, never mind. I thought you were going to be a toxic asshole, and I was wrong. Yeah, I have no more opportunities. All right, guys. Thanks for being here. Appreciate you. I'll be live on Monday, and boot.dev. We're going to do boot.dev stuff on Monday, 4 p.m. Central Time. We're going to dive into it. And yeah, good conversation. Appreciate everyone. And then if you want to continue the conversation in Discord, join our Discord. The link is free. Also, we're going to start doing controversial conversations in Discord. And I think it's going to be temporary, right? We're going a little bit unhinged in Discord. I'll create a new channel for it. I'll post an announcement about it. But we're going to go into some controversial topics. We talk it out. We hash it out. We get mad at each other. And then the whole conversation gets deleted. Just like that. All right, guys. Have a good one. Let's raid on Twitch. Stay here on Twitch. Keep the numbers up.